What's going on, guys? Today's video, we're going to be playing some Call of Duty Mobile. So it's a little different than what you're used to seeing. You're seeing my face. I just go on, talk about whatever game it is, update that's coming out. Today I want to do something a little different. So we're going to play some Call of Duty Mobile for you, some gun game. And then we are also going to be talking about the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. I'm going to be giving you guys the specs along with the release dates. I haven't seen any posts about prices at all. And then I'll give you guys some pictures as well of what they look like if you haven't seen the pictures yet. So we're going to start off with the PS5 since that's the newest console we got the info on. So the PS5, it's going to be running an 8-core AMD Zen 2 CPU. So it's going to be a really fast console. It's going to also be running a custom AMD RDNA 2 based GPU. And both of the AMD chips will provide 10.28 teraflops of power using variable frequencies on both the CPU and the GPU. So expect this thing to be performing fantastic. I wouldn't expect anything less from it than almost PC level quality for everything. Also, they are going to be running a proprietary SSD solution to boost the load times for games on the PlayStation 5. So it's going to be very nice. You don't got to wait freaking forever for games to load. The SSD that they are going to be using will provide about 825 gigs of storage, along with 5.5 gigs per second of performance. So like I said, it's going to be a very, very fast console. Sony's going to also be requiring, and I don't know how I feel about it personally, but they're going to be requiring all games to be installed to the internal SSD to make use of the speeds. So I don't know if they're going to be offering external hard drives or not with the PS5, but we'll see, I guess. So the PS5 itself also, it does support 8K graphics. It will support 4K graphics at 120 hertz of refresh rate, and also they're going to be finally doing the 3D audio with headsets. So, and if you haven't seen the picture of the controller, I'm going to throw a picture of the controller up right now. As you can see, it's a little bulkier than usual, what you're used to seeing. It's the DualSense controller is what they call it. I think it's the R2 and the L2 if I remember correctly. You can kind of, I guess, mess with them a little bit, makes them a little easier or harder to, depends on how far you can have to push them to use them. Well, also with the PS5, it will support majority of the over almost 4,000 titles of the PS4 and possibly more games from the PS3, PS2, and the original PlayStation. There's no 100% word yet on PS3, PS2, and OG. That's just my personal opinion. So we will see. So that's all the info I have on the PS5. So I'm going to be moving over now to the Xbox Series X. So the Xbox Series X, just like the PlayStation 5, is running an 8-core Zen 2 CPU, which is 4 times faster than the processing power of the original Xbox One. It's also going to be running an AMD RDNA 2 GPU, which is going to be 8 times the performance of the Xbox One. So it's going to be kind of nice to have consoles that are pretty much the same. The only difference there is the teraflops. Xbox Series X is running 12 instead of the 10.28. And then also on the Xbox Series X, it's going to have the highest bandwidth GDDR6 memory of any console on the market. It's going to also run SSD. And then also they're going to be running some DirectX hardware, accelerated ray tracing, variable refresh rates, and ultra low latency inputs. So, like I said, both these consoles are pretty much almost at PC level. Then it's also going to be running games at 4K at 60 frames per second, but with support up to 120 frames, just like the PlayStation. So, also with the SSD, since I accidentally skipped over it, the SSD for the Xbox Series X is 1 terabyte, a pair or accustomed to or compared to the 825 gigs that the PlayStation is putting out. The controller that Xbox is putting out is going to be compatible with Xbox Ones and all Windows 10 PCs. So it's going to be kind of nice that it's going to be compatible with something other than just the Series X. I would imagine PlayStation will probably do the same thing for uh, some of their stuff, but we'll see. I mean, as you can see in this gameplay here, gun game, I'm definitely not using my fingers to play this game. I tested it out, could not get it to go very well, so I ended up hooking up Bluetooth my Xbox and controller, and bam. So, also a new thing that Xbox is going to be doing and throwing at us, which I'm going to absolutely love, is they're doing a quick resume platform. It's going to be through their Xbox Velocity architecture and their custom OS architecture. And what it's going to do is it's going to allow players to start back where they left off. And not just on one title. Say you're going from, we'll say, Assassin's Creed over to, I don't know, we'll say like Tomb Raider. Just throw two random games out there. Say you're done with Assassin's Creed. I'm going to come back to it later. I'm going to go play some Tomb Raider. Well, then you play Tomb Raider for a little bit. You can go back to Assassin's Creed. It's going to start you off right where you left off at. So it's going to be super nice that you can do that. I don't know how many titles you can do. If it's just going to be 2, 3, 4, I don't know. So I don't know much about how many platform or how many titles that one's going to be. So yeah, that's like I said, they're both pretty much the same exact system. So I wouldn't expect much from difference wise. I'm going to be throwing a picture up here in a second of side by side view of what they are. So I expect both of these to be released holiday of 2020 from what I'm seeing. Like I said, price wise, I haven't seen much. I'm thinking about $450 for both. There's my picture of the side by side. Pause it right now. Anyways, guys, that's the end of my video. So you guys stay motivated, keep pushing forward. Peace.